Hi guys, this is your Tuesday video and we are taking a look and practicing the quotient rule first of all. And so I wrote it up top here. For some of you, I would suggest that you pause it and maybe write it, quotient rule, and it says to subtract the exponents, keep the base. So here I had x squared divided by x to the fourth. So I subtracted the two, 4 minus 2, I always take the larger from the smaller, and I got 2, so I put x to the 2 power on the bottom because that's where those extra x's would be, and up top I would get a 1. And we're going to practice those right now so you get a good feel for them. Let's get going. We did number 12 at the end of the video yesterday, and I'm going to do it again so that those of you that don't remember how to do this, it'll come back to you. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I think it's easier just to write the numbers and handle those at the end, because right away we don't have the same number and they don't have exponents. So we're going right to the next variable, which has x to the third and x to the fifth. So we're going to take 5 minus 3, larger number from smaller, and we get 2. So I want to put my x squared down at the bottom where the larger number of x's were. Okay? Now I'm ready to reduce my fraction, 8 over 10. I would take 2 would be a good number that goes into both. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. Keep that x squared, and that is my answer. Okay, let's do the next one again. And let's do number 18. Sorry about the number system. Didn't get back and change those. So I have 18 over 10. So right away I'm just going to write 18 over 10 and take care of that later. Now I go to the x's. I've got x8 and x3. So I'm going to put 8 minus 3 up here, and where the larger number is, and I get 5. So I get x to the 5. There's the larger exponent, so I'm putting it up top. And now I look at the y8, and down here I don't have any y's, so I just leave it up top. Now I want to reduce my fraction, or 18 over 10. I do not want a decimal, by the way. So I think, well, what number's going to 10? 5, but it doesn't go into 18. So I'm going to have to divide both of them by 2 again. Divided by 2. So I get 9 on the top and 5 on the bottom. And let's get you able to see this. And then I just keep my x to the 5, y to the 8, and I box it up. Awesome. Let's do another one. We've got 14 over 6. 14 over 6. And I've got my x's. So I've got 5 minus 1. Notice I put it down here with the larger number. I can put an x there too. 5 minus 1 would give me, 5 minus 4 would give me x to the 1. So I'm going to put that down here. And I've got y's, y7 and y4. So I'm going to put 7 minus 4 here, and I get 3. So y goes on top to the third power. Notice larger exponent, so I put it up here and I put it right there. Now I am ready to reduce my fraction. Again, I'm dividing it by 2. I get 7 thirds, y to the third up top, and x1 to the bottom. If you're behind it all, please feel free to put it on pause, and we'll go from there. I'm going to switch over now to our next part, and it says the zero exponent rule. And that rule is pretty simple. It just tells you that anything to the 0 power equals 1. That seems very strange, but I gave you an example of where it's really true, and it's true for all numbers. If I have x over 4 over x over 4, as in if I had 5 over 5 or 5x over 5x, I would get the number 1. Okay? If I subtracted the exponents, 4 minus 4, I would get 0, and that's where you get x to the 0 power. The real answer is 1. So we're going to use that rule now in our problems. starting out with multiplication just to help you see that you're going to see that in multiplication problems also. So here we've got 2x to the 0 power y2. Just to explain it to you, I could write it out like this. And this is what it would look like. 2 times 1 times y squared. Well, that would be 2y squared. 2 times 1 is 2. So a lot of times you'll just forget it. You'll just take it out of the picture because it's the number 1, unless you were adding, okay? So here I have 3, I'm just going to keep writing it, but pretty soon we'll just drop it, times 3c squared, okay? So that gives me 3c times 3c squared, which 3 times 3 is 9, c1, and c2 is c3. Right, let's take a look at number 3. It's done for you. Notice what they did. Notice what we have here, x4 and x3. So that would be x4 minus 3, which would give me x1. Okay? And then y to the 0 power is 1. And then here we have y squared, but we have nothing up here because it's actually the number 1 now. So I'm just going to bring this right over here. Okay? So my final answer, x1, and you can always put 1s in there if you feel more comfortable with that, and x to the 2 power on the bottom. Let's take a look at the next one. I'm going to leave the numbers like they are. Just do it at the end like we did the other ones. So I've got x3, let me just block this off, x to the 3rd power and x to the 2nd power. So that would be 3 minus 2, which would give me x to the 1 power. And it's going up top, right there. I would have wrote it up top, but I don't have room. So now we've got the bottom. We've got y to the 3rd and y to the 5th. So my biggest number is 5. So 5 minus 3, 5 and 3, equals y to the 2 power. And it's going on the bottom. Okay? And we have 0. We have z to the 0 power, which would be 1. So my final answer is 4x1 and 4y squared, and 4 over 4 is 1. So I'm going to put a 1 there just to help you see it. But you could also just have x1 and x over y squared. Notice 4 over 4 is 1. Okay? Almost done. Let's take a look then at 5. And this one is nice because right away I see these are 1s. So I'm going to cross them off because 2 times 1 times 1 is 2. So I've got 2. I've got 6. And I have nothing on the bottom. These are 1s. So that gives me m3, n6, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So now I can put it over 1 just to let you see what it would look like. When this happens to me, a lot of times I just box up the top. Okay? And the last one, I'm going to let you do that problem. And we'll put both this one and number 16 way up here on your work sheet tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow. That's 7-3 practice. Get ready to do a lot of practice.